movement of All right, how you guys doing today? Today's question is coming from r/AskReddit. First things first, though, make sure you like that video. Make sure you leave a comment about what your answer would be, or what you think about these ones. Yeah, I'm kind of a genius. And today's question is coming from user/lintot, titled, "Now what hobby in women gives you green flag vibes?" Any hobby that demonstrates passion and independence gets a green flag from me. And somebody said, "I'm really passionate about staying myself at home and doing nothing." And somebody else says, "I say this jokingly all the time, but TBH, this really does something for me." My hobby is staying home. Is a shorthand way of saying I like cooking, cleaning, baking, gardening, decorating my home, watching cute movies, playing with pets, reading on the couch with a heated blanket, etc. Loves reading books, even collecting. Building hobbyist trebuchets. Well, I guess you know what they say. If we that siege together, liege together. I just like it when my partner is passionate about something that's good for them or potentially good for others. I'm big on self-care and sustainability. I want to be my partner's crutch when they feel like nothing is going their way. I don't want to be their keystone, the only thing stopping them from falling apart. Being outdoors. Edit, I thought about trying to fix the typo, but all the B puns are just too funny. And somebody said to that, "Typo, I'll assume that's supposed to be a P. Weirdo." Actually having one, and depending on me for all their happiness. And somebody said to that, "My roommate's wife is like that. No hobbies, doesn't want to do anything. It's so bad that I told her she can come to Magic Night with us and not complain, or she could just stay at home. Not having hobbies is one thing, but don't crap on your partner's hobbies. No one feels like hanging out with her because she just throws little tantrums when everyone in our friend group wants to do something that she doesn't want to do." I'm not gonna lie, TikTok has this generation in a chokehold. The amount of people that I see just first thing they do when they grab their phone, just insane. Like, you gotta do better. And that goes for everybody. And somebody said, "Yeah, I don't know what hobbies I find attractive, but social media addiction is definitely not one of them." And presumably a girl said, should I close Reddit now?" And then somebody says, "The bars dropped so low." It's really crazy how we just like, yeah, please, just not this one thing and everything else is fine. Anything that shows passion and creativity, such as painting, gardening, or hiking. And somebody says, "I don't want to be rude. I've got nothing against hiking, but how is it creative?" And somebody says to that, "I think it could be more alongside the passion part. Creative may not be the right word, but appreciation for non-material things, or finding enjoyment out of abstract or interpretation for things, like how sunlight reacts with certain flowers or plants, etc." And somebody comments to that, "This. As a woman, I consider hiking a passion hobby because it gives me a chance to observe nature, keep in touch with my body as it moves across uneven terrain, and get lost in my thoughts. It keeps me grounded. It makes me feel just totally alive." And somebody says, "You've obviously not heard of interpretive hiking. It's like interpretive dance, but as you throw shapes, you move from A to B." Yeah? The frick is interpretive hiking? Okay, so interpretive hiking is, it's like tells a story. You can learn about natural processes in the park, the plants, the animals, how ancestors lived, or all three. Interpretive trails are usually short and accessible to people in wheelchairs. Shoot, that sounds great. Accessible to everybody. You get to learn and exercise at the same point as well as connecting with nature. It's a 4-piece. And somebody says, "I like to hike and agree. It's not an exercise in creativity. Organization, endurance, test your orienting skills, sure, but it's not creating anything. But it's cool that some people have found other ways to bring creative elements with them on the trail. Like photography is popular, of course, but I've also seen people sketching, writing, knitting. There's also people who like to stack rocks on a wood pile or whatever, Blair Witch style. I guess that could be counted as creativity. A woman who's into gardening." And somebody says, "Yeah, this is a green flag for me too. If she likes gardening, that tells me that she probably cares about the environment, and she's likely to be adaptable. Gardening is a ride with things like pest infestations, soil issues, unexpected weather." And somebody else says, "Plus, you get the fun of the added drama you never think you needed. Like a groundhog moving in and stealing the food, but you can't do anything about it because he's just a little cute guy who needs his dinner too. So you put up with it until more gets stolen and you can't do anything because go look in his home. He has a wife and a kid to provide for now. He's just a new dad doing his best." I honestly may as well just bury money outside and save the time and daily drama. But instead, I fully encourage the hobby and accept the fact that my girlfriend is basically Linda from Bob's Burgers. Crocheting, the most wholesome hobby in my opinion. They make you sweaters. And somebody says, fun fact, the sweater curse is a real thing that many knitters and crocheters have observed. They make a sweater for a SO and then they break up shortly after. Presumably, it's because the gifter feels like they weren't appropriately appreciated or because the giftee feels smothered. And somebody says to that, a sweater is a huge time and money investment. If the giftee isn't a knitter, they just can't grasp how much work goes into it. To them, it's just a sweater, because it is. They're grateful, but they're rarely as grateful as the maker would have been if they had received it from somebody else. To put all this time and effort into something that someone will rarely wear or not get the appreciation you were expecting, it's kind of martyry. Stick to the hats and scarves. Somebody says, girlfriend is a knitter and she came up with a neat workaround because she's afraid of the sweater curse. Sleeveless pullover. She finished it last night, nearly cried when I tried it on. Priceless. And somebody else says, as a crocheter, I've noticed this blanket's for us. Now let me tell you, if I got something like this right here, I'm folding. It's not leaving my body, I tell you. Or really any kind of blanket. I love blankets so much. Everybody that knows me kind of knows that I've created this thing called blanket science. Trust and believe, it's a real thing. It's about not only when you go to sleep, but like when you're sitting down, you want to have a blanket on you or something. All different types of blankets for different types of situations, and the quantity of the blanket that you have to have, and the different types and intermixing of the blankets. I tried this in one video where I was trying to like talk about two things connecting, and I tried to put my pinky and index finger together. I don't think I recorded that one properly, and I don't think it made it out, but it still kind of hurts because I be doing this every day. Like, I'll be trying to say, yeah, them two things connecting, and then my fingers just don't touch, and it's very sad. I don't know if I finished my thought, but we're going to keep moving. The chick building her tunnel system under her house on TikTok. She's either an angel or a serial killer. And then somebody said to that, she had no idea what she was doing and actively endangered the neighborhood. Tunnels are super cool, but digging them safely is absolutely not something that an amateur should mess around with. So, this is the video they're talking about. Do with this information as you will. I don't think you could do this. I don't think any average person could do this. That forklift looks expensive. That looks expensive. That also looks very dangerous. And yeah, y'all got it. Y'all got it. If she likes birds. Bouldering. So rock climbing is what I'm gathering from looking at this. Rock climbers in the freaking comments, don't get mad if I called bouldering rock climbing. I don't care. I see what I see and I say what I say. You're climbing a rock. All right. I don't want to hear it. Shoot, you can even call climbing a ladder climbing a rock, because if you're trying to get up higher on Earth, Earth's a rock. You climbing a rock. Shoot, if I stand on my desk, I just climbed a rock. And I guess this video also serves to give you guys some hobby ideas if you're feeling creative or whatever. Legos. Somebody says, my partner's a big Lego nerd. When we met, I hadn't built with Lego since I was a kid, but he got me into it. And now we build together. I just joined a Lego group that he's in, and we even travel to Lego conventions together. It's really fun and creative outlet, and he's so excited to share it with me. Not gonna lie, I've been looking to get back into Legos too recently. Not even like the super duper ones, but something about it's like doing puzzles. I want to do puzzles too. Puzzles are so fire. Like, it's really just something you do. You put a podcast on, or a live stream on, or video, some music, and you just do a puzzle. It's like, it's just so nice. It's so calming. You know what I'm saying? So calming. I just want to find a girl that I can sit at home and play video games with. And somebody says to that, video games are my zen alone time. I'd rather have a girl that has her own hobbies and doesn't mind when we're both able to take time and decompress in our own ways. I'd rather have joint activities be active stuff, like hiking. And he says again, well, I'm not saying I wanted to cut into my gaming time, nor would I want to do that to her, but having someone I could just stay in on Saturday night with, curl up and play a story-driven game with, I'd love that. And somebody else says, not everyone is like the guy above. Me and my husband are both gamers and play very different things. Parallel play can be a great thing in relationships. Being in a house plants. She already takes care of a bunch of useless F's in her house. What's one more? Anything to do with animals, except for horses. And somebody says, hunting. And somebody else says, it's more ethical than buying meat from a store. And it's more cost effective too. I'll put a link down below to the old video I did about some guy and his wife complaining about the ethics of hunting. It's a pretty good video, if I do say so myself. It doesn't have my beautiful face in it though, so you won't get that perk. It was back from when I did a different style of video, but still fire, still fire. And somebody else says, most people that hunt are doing it because they're trying to eat meat ethically. The same way anyone I see at a gun range with me doesn't have self-defense and freedom from tyranny in their mind as their primary purpose for shooting. Does pet ownership count as a hobby? That's a green flag. And somebody said, responsible pet ownership. One of my girlfriend's roommates left her dog crated up 90% of the time. And that poor thing had some major behavioral issues, which were not her fault, but the dog's health was also abysmal. They had some major debates about calling animal control because the roommate did nothing to fix the situation. And somebody said to the original thing about just pet ownership in general, agreed, as long as it's not a horse. Somebody says, my exact thoughts, why not? And then that person said, I really heard something good about horse girls. It's an extremely expensive hobby that draws incredible amounts of time. I mean, riding in itself is fun, but once someone owns a horse, it's very serious. My wife does puzzles. I think that's neat. Oh, and somebody says, people are conflating green flags with things they find sexy or attractive. He's not wrong. We're not really looking for green flags. We're just looking at, she bad if she do this. Historical Libyan vexillology. Oh, that's pretty sick. It's the scientific study of the history, symbolism, and usage of flags, or by extension, any interest in flags in general. Not specifically the Libyan one. I mean, Libya, you're cool for me. You're cool in my eyes, I guess. I don't know anything about you, but I'm just knowing about flags in general. That's kind of cool. That's cool. Flags are dope. You know what I'm saying? Building mechanical keyboards, just because it's nerdy and useful, I guess. I don't know. Building a mechanical keyboard sounds kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. All right, that's gonna be the end of the question. Hope you guys have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.